All right, we're at the Scotch and Sirloin. Now, it's iconic, but they've just done a remodel. So they got the big S here, and the Scotch and Sirloin was here when Scotch wasn't even popular. So you know they've been around for a while.
Well, and also, this is where we had our 5th anniversary gathering.
Right.
And we've talked to Carl. We know the manager for a while. But at our 5th anniversary gathering, they said, hey, why don't you come out, and we'll let you guys taste the 2017 Macallan Exceptional Series.
Well, we've known Carl for a while, and I think he was stunned that we actually had a gathering. We had enough people following, and so he was like, wow, you guys got a lot of people out here. You need to come by and try the Macallan Exceptional. We were like,
Yep. So we're going to meet up with Carl and give you some pictures and stuff from inside the Scotch and Sirloin.
Yeah,
if you're
trying to stay in film.
If you're in Wichita, make sure you stop by and check it out. They got a great Scotch selection, great whiskey selection, and let's go see.
Right off of Kellogg, right across from the VA, which is always helpful. All right, you're going to spin on us?
Yeah, I guess we could have said 5325 East Kellogg,
Bam.
Wichita.
Way to go, on the fly. You're good with that. I don't know. I think this is where we actually go in. It's the path to the Macallan Exceptional.
Okay, so we are at the bar now. We are in the Scotch and Sirloin. Carl is going to walk us through.
As you can see, we've got the nice, now this is wine behind us, but it's part of the brand new kind of look that they've got going on. We loved it, so we decided to shoot with that as the background. But if Carl can bring in what is number 2, and he can explain why it's 2 instead of 1.
So the Macallan edition, this is the 2017 release of the Exceptional Series from Macallan, single cask releases. They do not have number 1 and number 6.
And Carl, you can explain, why do they not have number 1, or why do you not have 1 and 6?
We would have loved to have number 1 and number 6, but unfortunately it's on an allocation basis, and Kansas just doesn't move enough. So the state of Kansas received none. They only made it 111 bottles, I believe, of the number 1.
Got it.
All right.
Okay, so what do you know off the top of your head on the number 2 edition?
Or what you've heard even?
As you can see, it was bottled 2004, cask 2004.
Just shy of 13 years old. It looks like 18th of October 2004 distilled, bottled 29th of August 2017. There's 298 bottles.
Wow.
Bob Delgarno's name is on there. 65.2%.
And we'll be real steady as we set it down in the trough.
Yeah, I think Carl Carl was nervous.
Yeah, don't be throwing
Just
them
a little
around.
bit.
Like, don't throw them around. We are here before the Scotch is opened up, but there's still some folks that are coming in. They've got a lot of planning, event space. We did our gathering here, as I think we may have even already mentioned. But so folks may come and go, so you may hear some stuff in the background. Just work with it.
Oh, there's the sherry, the
Little plum. Yeah, I got the plum laid in with a nice sweetness.
raisin.
But yeah, I get a lot of molasses on the forefront when I first come in.
Oh, wow. Delicious, 65.2%.
It's rich. I get a little, I'm going to tell you, I get a little sourness right on the forefront, which isn't abnormal for sherries.
Oh, it's very rich, though.
It is.
That first sip I took just overtook my mouth.
Mouth feels very velvety at the finish. I get honeys. I get a lot of honeys in the aftertaste.
Cinnamons, nutmegs.
Now, one thing Carl said, which we've never tried, have you had any one of the single ranges?
No.
I never have either.
No, these are.
And so Carl, right off the bat, we asked a few questions. You know, what have you heard? What have you experienced? And he said he has been told and picked up differences from each of the bottles. So that's something that we're definitely looking at is how they're comparing with each other.
Number 3 we have here. There were 612 bottles of this one made. It was aged for 14 years. Not quite as hot, only 60% alcohol.
Number 3. Wonderful. All right, thank you. All right, so again, so they didn't have number 1. We've done 2. Now we're on 3. You can also see they're almost equal in their pours. So whoever's buying Oh, that one floated a bit. I got
Are they doing a flight?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a flight, or we'll see. I'm curious right off the bat. I saw them over there, but I didn't go eyeball them. So I'm curious if one's going to be significantly lower than the rest, or people like give me another one of those. The nose is a little softer. I still get a lot of the plum. I don't get as much of that molasses sweetness.
No, the nose is a little less on this one.
I mean, still I get the plum, and I can pick up that sweet. I get more of a sugary kind of, almost like a sweet cider.
A little bit more astringency on that one. Very rich still. Almost more, more nuttiness, I think. Less fruit. Less of the plum, less of the raisin. More nuttiness, more wood, more oak.
Call me nuts, but I get a little like effervescent, like mid-palate. It just kind of like lifts and extends throughout the palate. But you're right. I get a little bit more of that. Is it an almond?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a lot of almond, a lot of oak. A lot more oak on this one.
And you're right. It's drier. That astringency is there. It's got a wonderful finish, though, again.
Yeah. Water helps on the number 3. Brings out a lot more. Not necessarily some of the berries and stuff that you see with the Olorosos. Still more oak influence, I believe. Cask influence, not necessarily wine influence. Very good. I don't think it's as rich as the second edition.
Right. I would say it's a little more astringent. Still phenomenal, but you're right. If I was going to just go between 2 and 3, for my palate, so far 2 has had that molasses sweetness was really kind of nice.
Number 4?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. This one was in the barrel for 12 years. 561 bottles. 63% alcohol. Okay.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful. All right. 2017, number 4.
Now, one thing, I guess, so this is European oak sherry butt
Okay.
on number 4. Number 3 was European oak sherry butt. And number 2 is European oak sherry butt.
I've got more fruit on the nose, more of like the actual raw fruit, like a cool plum. Sweetness is still there, but it's definitely on like that fruitier side. It's not quite as like drippy as that molasses. You like drippy? You like that when I add that in on a taste note? Yeah,
It makes me think that
I don't usually have that tasting note in there. I was like, where'd that go? But it is. I mean, it's the same as like a cold plum. I mean, it's like a cold, juicy plum.
well, I'm getting more spices, I think, than I am fruit on this one. More cinnamon, more nutmeg, maybe even a little clove.
Wow, is that thick? That has got a lot of richness.
Ooh. Definite palate pleaser with that one.
Yeah. Boy, right from the open, you get that nice, thick, viscous coating. This is really nice. This is going to be my favorite so far. It's got a nice blend between the sweetness and the richness. It's not as astringent. Notes of honey throughout the finish. I don't even know if I want to add water to this. I'll add a little bit. Are you getting any change with the water?
Other than just smoothing it out that you would expect. Nothing really different on the palate. A lot of spices.
That is phenomenal.
Oak.
I'm going to notice they're about the same height here too, so nobody's draining that one more than the others. Maybe that number 2 is a little lower, maybe, just because maybe it's the first one they had. This is top notch. That's phenomenal. I'm parking that one because I'll finish it.
We're along number 5. Aged for 15 years. 286 bottles made. 58%.
Right. And as far as Scotch, I think just looking at your bar, do you believe you've probably got the best Scotch?
I would say we have one of, if not the largest selection of single malt scotches in the state.
Yes.
We have right around 100 different single malt scotches.
You're calling the state.
The state.
Look at that. I just said Wichita. That's crazy. I undershot it. All right. Thanks, brother.
European oak sherry butt once again. I sent that one over there.
All right. This one seems a little more subtle on the nose for me.
I bet you the 15 years will show on the palate.
Okay. Because I'm getting a little bit of berry in the background.
And I think the color is a little bit darker than the others.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They've been around the
Looks
12
a lot
to 13.
darker, actually.
Yeah. 58.5%, a little bit lower.
Nuttiness on the open for me.
Very prominent open.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, and then it's wow.
Right into the fruits.
Yeah, slides right into the mid-palate fruit.
Ooh, there's the dark notes that I like. Yeah, the dark dates.
Yeah, it's got a, well, I don't know how you explain dark, but I agree with you 100%. It's got that richness. It's got a real, like, nice, dark, rich fruit.
That one's so far probably the best balance of nut and fruit, berries, plums, nuttiness,
I'm trying another step.
oak.
It's almost too subtle for me, though. That number 4 hit me so far, still on the sweet spot. Great legs, very smooth. You're right. The blend of it is very nice. 4 is still sticking.
So they don't have 6, so we go to number 7.
Yes.
Number 7 is the oldest one we have. It was aged for 21 years.
Yeah.
So, as you would expect, it's not quite as hot. What's that? 50.
Yep, 54.6.
54.6, 296 bottles made. So,
Very nice.
enjoyed them.
Thank you. And European Oak Sherry Hogshead.
Now, look, that one's got the most in it. So that 21 years got the most there.
That's
so,
probably the most expensive one. Though, too.
probably.
Carl's shaking his head.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, 21 years, baby.
Still just, you can tell it's that nice rich sherry.
Yep, the sherry, the fruits. I don't get as much plum here, probably. This leans a little bit more towards that molasses sweetness on the nose.
That's the most astringent, most oak forward one. Coming, the 22 years.
If you like those, the more oaky flavors, that's definitely here. I get a little bit more of the clove.
Yeah. A little bit of mint, clove, black tea.
Wow, yes. Yeah, it's all those. Yeah, you're right with the black tea, because the clove I get on the forefront. Again, a real rich velvety finish. Great mouth coating, side of the cheeks, upper gum. That sweetness lingers along the gum line. I'm going to add a little bit of water to this. No, didn't really change it much. I didn't want to bring it down drastically or anything. All right, let me come in here.
This is a good way to start the day. It's got a nice palate, is saturated with sherry, Macallan sherry. You know, actually, not one have I got a sulfur.
No.
There hasn't been any sulfur notes.
Nope. You know, when Carl leaves them this close, who's to say? Be like all of a sudden, bottle 2 keeps refilling itself.
2 is lighter, sweeter, more of the raspberry notes into the number 3.
You're on to 3?
The second one that we did, number 3.
Right. Bottle 3.
And, you know, actually, as we went through, I thought that one was pretty good. Might have been my favorite. Coming back now, even, it has a really great mouth. Yeah. Really great mouthfeel. Yeah. It's got more of the spices, the cinnamons and nutmegs.
Yeah.
Lighter sherry, not the.
Right.
I'm not really getting the plums.
I get touches of malt in there too. Are you picking up that malt?
Not
See,
so
I'm
much.
getting little touches of the malt in there that almost gives it like that rising dough.
The third one that we tried, the number 4.
My favorite. This is the one I like the most out of them. See, it just opens with that zing. You get a little bit more of that burst right on the forefront.
More nuttiness.
And then it tails off nice and sweet. That is good. Now, as we're going through, for those that joined us for the gathering, our 5th anniversary, as you arrived, and you've already seen the storefront or the restaurant's facade as we came in. And when we did the gathering, they were just finishing up some of those outside touches because there's a lot of wood and some things. So for you folks that were here, this is the first time you're seeing that finish. The Scotch, when did it first open?
1968.
1968. And how long had you been at this location?
It's 97.
Since 97. So there was a definite modern update. I was even commenting to Carl that everybody in town calls it the Scotch, and that's the nice logo that's on the napkins here.
So this was, you had 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yep.
Right, because there was no 1 and no 6.
That one's got a little bit of everything. Really
getting some honeys.
Really blended, smooth, well together. Yeah, a little bit more lighter sweetness.
Are you in a happy place?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know.
The oldest one, the 22-year-old, is probably not my favorite. It is very good. It's very rich. It's very astringent.
Yeah.
Very drying.
Well, the more time in the wood, it's more oaky. Bottle 4 is my favorite, followed by 5. You're probably leaning toward 5, aren't you?
5 was good, and I think 3.
Okay. Yeah.
5
But again,
and 3.
all
I
phenomenal.
think. Oh yeah, definitely.
And there's something I wanted to point out too while we're here. We've had some folks, the longer we do this, sometimes we will get opportunities like this, or someone will send us a rare bottle, or we're able to get one. And we've had a few fans saying, hey, I can't even find these. I can't buy these now. Now, I will tell you, you may not be able to buy them currently except on secondary market or auction, but the strength of having a real nice whiskey or Scotch bar near you is you can generally, and talk to them, get to know them, but as things come out, you can ask them to buy them. And even if you don't want to or can't afford the whole bottle, it's a great way to come in and sample just with an ounce, which is what we're doing here.
Yeah, and thank you to Carl and the Scotch and Sirloin for having us out. Wonderful series. I wish we'd have been able to afford these, and I don't know that I ever even saw anywhere on the shelf.
Nope, never saw them.
Would not have had the opportunity, the chance to try these.
Now, I'm curious, do you know off the top of your head what they go for an ounce?
Most of them are fairly reasonable. And we priced $35 to $50 an ounce for the majority of them. Obviously, the most expensive one is one that's a little bit older
Right.
there. That one we sell for $150 an ounce.
Okay.
What we like to do here, like you did, we do a flight for our guests like to try work their way through it, and we do a half ounce of each. You can try the entire series for $150.
Wow.
That's really good.
So there you go. This is exactly it. So you can do the whole flight for $150, and you're able to then come in and say, oh, I agree with, well, of course you agree with Bart. Bottle 4 is the best. All right. I should have yelled we're going to test it, but we had people in here, and I was a little bit nervous. So I didn't want to, being out in semi-public with me screaming and test it would be too much.
Yeah.
But what we can say is, Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
Still on you.
Dummies.